album is astonishing. This video is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. I'll be talking about them more later in the video. Hello, welcome to this video. My name's Dan, aka Lucen. I'm a singer-songwriter, music producer person, and today I'm going to be reacting to Aurora's brand new album. This is What Happened to the Heart. Let's go. Cool. So if you've been following the channel, then you'll know that Aurora is one of the big discoveries for me via YouTube. I'd only ever listened to like the ones that kind of broke through on radio, the one that she did for the John Lewis advert, and then through the channel, like you guys got me to react, and I absolutely adored every single one of her albums. I've just adored. Like my first listen to this one, The Gods That We Can Touch, I was like quite shocked, but that one grew on me so much, and there's so many songs on there that I still listen to, particularly Heathens. I just think it's just a fucking perfect song. And like seeing her live and doing Heathens live, like I lost my mind. It was amazing. But yeah, so you've like totally taken me from zero to hero when it comes to Aurora, and now we've got a brand new album. I haven't heard any of the songs yet. I kind of like was going to react to one of the singles, and then it didn't really fit any of the videos I was doing, so I kind of left it. And then after that I was like, actually, why don't I just, like, there's so much new music, like I'm just going to leave it and wait for the whole album and then experience the whole album as a complete piece. I have heard tiny little clips that have come through on Instagram, like, you know, when you just scroll and something just starts playing. And like, from what I've heard, I'm like, oh my God, I'm excited for the direction. I hear synths, I think. Kind of sounds like almost like an 80s kind of reference. So I'm excited to see what she does with that reference, because her production style is always so fascinating. Yeah, let's go. Also today, obviously, Charli XCX's brand new album comes out today. So I'm doing Aurora first, and then I'm going to do Charli next week. So if you're watching this on YouTube, then my reaction to Charli XCX's brand new album will be up on Patreon, as will this one, with absolutely no cuts in any of the songs. So if you want to check out this or the new Charli XCX album, or the new Billie Eilish album, or any of my reactions really, with no cuts in the songs, you can listen to the whole thing as I listen to it in high quality. You can head over to the Patreon. The link is in the description and in the top comment. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to subscribe and check out all my other Aurora reactions. I've done every single album, and I did a reaction to live performances of her as well. And also make sure to check out my podcast. Season 2 is currently in production. And if you want to check out my music, then you can do so as well. The links are in the description. You would have actually heard a tease of one of my songs at the beginning of the video. My journey with mental health has been a long one. As I've shared with you on the channel before, I was bullied from a young age for my sexuality and for my emotional sensitivity. So I carried a lot of shame into my 20s, believing that my vulnerability and my often raw connection to my emotions was something not to be proud of. It was also difficult to explain to my family, who came from a different generation, and I feared that they had more traditional views when it came to masculinity. Now, through this channel, I understand that my emotional vulnerability is a strength, and I've been able to connect with you and the hundreds of thousands all over the world. I didn't have access to a therapist, but if I had, I think that this would have really helped me process these feelings and saved me a lot of heartache in the long run. The ability to share your feelings truthfully without fear of judgment is an important part of your mental health. I'm happy to have a paid partnership with BetterHelp, because I truly believe that understanding your own needs and looking after your mental health should be a priority, especially for sensitive people like me. BetterHelp connects you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. You'll be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours, so BetterHelp is a convenient way to access therapy from home. Use my unique link in the description below, or use my channel name, Lucent Reacts, when signing up to get a special discount on your first month. Okay, right. Oh God, I'm so excited. Song number 1, we have Echo of My Shadow. Her first songs are always a blast.
If I stay here any longer,
Wow. Love the intimacy in her voice. It's almost like a hymn. Whoa. Wow. I love the dynamic build here. Beautiful. And now her voice is like receded into the echo. It's beautiful.
If my life is
so beautiful.
This world is ancient.
I love the atmosphere within this. It's like almost like underwater. The use of like reverb and a filter and all that kind of stuff really creates this atmospheric kind of depth, you know.
Stay
It's such an interesting soundscape because it's such a kind of big ambient kind of wash. There's so many things going on, but everything's a little bit unintelligible, you know? Like she's saying in the song, like the echo, and that's within the sound design, you know? Yes. Wow. Beautiful. As always, her voice is just perfection. And we've still got time left on this song.
I will stay here forever is gone.
I will stay here till the echo of my shadow is gone.
They will be here forever.
Beautiful. What a beautiful opener as well. It like really sets the scene. Like it's such kind of atmospheric, like kind of cinematic scene setter. I wasn't expecting that from the little clips that I've heard and the way in which she's opened albums before, like Queendom, for instance, that just like smashes you around the face. So yeah, I found that really interesting. Just stunning beauty. I love the way in which her voice has like real dry moments where she's like really, really intimate right in your ear. And then slowly the amount of reverb on her voice will increase like slowly throughout the song until at the end of the chorus, she's just a one big echo. And then it kind of comes right back in with the intimate, dry vocal. There's storytelling within that, you know, like this idea that like what I'm getting from it is this idea, if you stay within your own shadow, or you stay within your echo and you're not living life to the fullest, maybe because of anxiety, maybe because of we know that Aurora's got a lot of environmental anxiety, as she posts on Instagram quite a lot. And as she posted, it was last September, October. I remember her saying like, I've got music, but I don't feel like it's the right time to post it because of environmental anxiety and because of war anxiety as well. And so I think for me, it's like she's not speaking up. She's almost like too afraid to make a move. And in this song, she's like, but if I don't ever make another move, then I'm just going to get lost in my own echo, and until my echo just disappears, and then everything I had to say and everything I had to do is just lost forever. That's really what it's given me. And then that way that they produce the vocal with almost her voice slowly getting lost in the echo really illustrates that point, doesn't it? You know, which is incredible. And the kind of level of like sound design level storytelling that Aurora is just like so good for. If I stay here any longer, I will stay here forever, and the echo of my world will fade. Will the edge of my sorrow be gone in the morning? I know. So it's like feeling completely sorrowful, but if you stay within that sorrow and you don't break out of it, then yeah, everything you had to say, the echo of your world, everything that was within your world, everything you had to say within the world will slowly fade away, and you'll just get lost in the echo, you know? Stay right here, stay in the light, my dear, until the love you crave falls in your arms. I know your mind moves like the rain sometimes. If you can't rise for us, do it for love. I wonder whether this is like, she's almost like speaking to herself, or she's taking somebody speaking to her. Stay in the light, don't back into the shadows. And even though it can feel really difficult to get up, and because the sorrows and the anxiety of the world keeps you down, do it for love, do it for the power of like love and what that brings to you and brings to the world, you know. There are heroes within us, there are lovers around us, they will be here forever, I know. So it's like trying to find optimism despite like overpowering sadness, and trying to fight just losing yourself to the sorrow and retreating into this echo, you know, in the shadow. Beautiful, stunning. Okay, next song, To Be Alright. Let's go. Whoa, okay. Oh, I love that sound. Okay, here's the 80s drums I was expecting. Oh, I love that pad. Well, she's singing in a different voice. It's almost like a kind of 80s thing.
Oh, I long to be alright.
Yeah, I long to be alright.
How do you find it so easy to do that?
Nice. Nice. I just love this kind of like shape in the sound.
How can you say that I love too much?
Wow.
Just want to feel alright.
Wow.
I want to feel it, it's so easy.
Oh, I love when she goes to that place in that voice. So.
Right, so I won't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely got a bit of an 80s edge to it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Oh. Oh my God. Fuck. I love it. That is so good. I believe I'm loving. Oh, I've got chills all over my arms. Yes. I just want to feel alright. Oh my God. Oh. I just love the euphoric feeling in it with that lyric. I just want to feel alright. It's so powerful.
Don't dance to anything. I long to feel alright.
Fucking beautiful. Oh God, her ability to just sweep you up into these huge euphoric places is just unlike anybody else. And I keep coming back for more every single time. Like Heathens, like Queendom, like all these just powerful songs that just like take you into the upper stratosphere. And here she's doing it in a way that there was a lot of tension before it kind of got you to that place. But when it did, it was just fucking so satisfying and like so beautiful in the way that she's like, it's like a big feeling and a simple phrase, you know, I long to feel all right, you know, just taking it down to like the simplicity of it, but with the hugeness of the feeling is just like so stunning, like that kind of juxtaposition. And it's almost like takes you this huge place where you're like, wow, and then it just brings it right back down to the truth, you know. It's like fucking just beautiful. And I love the sound design. Like this is totally up my street, the kind of like experimental kind of pad based stuff. Like I really love the raspy pad. I love the way she played with it. There was lots of really choppy bits. There were lots of really kind of like reverby, delayed bits. There was lots of bits where she used filters and stuff to really kind of like give it shape, and then bringing in that kick drum was just like, oh, it's beautiful. Like really, really great. And I just love Aurora. I just love her. I just think she's fucking stunning. And she connects to this like emotion that is just like so innocent, and like you can't help but feel for her because that kind of innocence, that raw emotion, like is sometimes knocked down by the harshness of the world around her. And I think that's something that like us kind of more like empathic people can really relate to. I know I belong here on earth, but I long to be lifted up. My heart does not rhyme the rhythm of my mind. Well, what is life worth living if you can't dance to anything night after night? Oh, I long to be all right. I want to feel it, what the people talk about. How do you find it so easy? But whatever you say is never right, so I won't do that. And wherever I go, I'm always blind, so I lose my track. You cannot make me feel all right. So it's almost like she's admitting to herself that she wants to figure out how to feel all right, to get out of this kind of sad place that she was saying that she was in the first song. And here she's trying to find some sense of euphoria, but it's like, maybe it's like the idea is that she creates the euphoric sounding song in order to maybe try and inspire that within herself, even though she's not feeling it. Other people are trying to help her out, but she's like, you can't do this. I need to do this for myself. You know, now I hunger for touch. How could you say I love too much? I've been told that, you know, that kind of sentiment, you know, maybe you shouldn't feel as much as you do because like you need to protect yourself, you know, how? That's just who I am, you know, not unless I just like completely shut off a part of my personality. Yeah, that's why I don't read the news, because I find it so, I really struggle, you know, like honestly, I feel like if I were to let myself get into that spiral of having like news on my phone and going on Twitter and stuff, then I would find myself in this kind of depressive place. And so I know it's probably not very responsible. I pick up stuff from my boyfriend mostly. I seek out specific information because I want to educate myself on something, but otherwise I just don't, because I just can't. I'm just too soft, you know? So I really, really like strongly relate to how Aurora's feeling within this zone. It makes me think I should have written the song about it. I'm too busy writing love songs. Yeah, fuck. I don't want to fight. I just want to feel all right. I believe I love it. I believe I love it. So she's like, I need to do this within myself. I need to inspire myself out of this funk. I need to just focus on the love, you know? Beautiful. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is Your Blood. Yeah, let's go. Ooh. I love the little moments of reverse. There was some of that in the earlier songs too.
Feel it travel in and out your heart.
Wow.
You repeat the pattern. You die.
Oh, the classic beautiful vocals. Like for me, Aurora like walks this line between experimentation and pure beauty.
Drowning in the white night.
Okay. I love that she's really sticking to like some quite like standard drum patterns, which isn't necessarily a place that she's gone to before, you know?
It might not be as cool.
Ah. Wow. Hello. Oh my god. Ah. I'm so not used to hearing dry, stabby bits with Aurora. Oh my god, that's so sick. Love it. Obsessed. I refuse to die. There's this idea that she's rebelling against the feeling of something pushing her down. Like throughout every song so far, the weight of the world, she's fighting against it. As if I'm obsessed. I just, like, yeah, I can't. Oh, I just adore her. Oh my god, I love Dora so much. Oh my god, what is going on? Oh, I think it is still in 4/4. It's just the intonation of the rhythm is so all over the place. It's so cool. Obsessed. Oh my god. That was just, I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Like that just, like, she, like, I honestly, I don't even know what to say. Like, that was just so surprising in such a fucking stunning way. Oh my god. Like, she's just such a genius in sound design, and it gets me every time. And here we are, like, with something that has such a kind of more like obvious kind of pop feeling to it, and yet it still feels so cool, so out there, and so smacks you around the face with its kind of uniqueness as well, you know, especially considering we're so used to Aurora being in these kind of ambient spaces, and the first two songs had a lot of ambience to them, and this one started off with a bit of ambience, but then when the chorus came in, it was like it was tight and dry and like sidechained. I don't think I've ever heard sidechain on an Aurora song. And I love this feeling that she's created through each song of this like defiance, you know. She's trying to find a defiance, you know. Your blood, what matter is it made of? Do you feel it travelling out your heart? Needles stitching up the big holes you prepared for battle as you fell apart. Well, are you dust? You are dust. Yeah, thinking about the very atoms, the very parts of our being, you know, that make us up. Your voice drowning in the white noise. Do you hear the echo begging you to let go? This earth, whoever was it made for? Just wait until tomorrow, you might not be as cold. I guess there's like a feeling of optimism. There's a feel like the echo is begging you to let go, like the echo from the first song, this feeling of like sadness that's like kind of trying to keep her down. And it's like, you need to let go of it. Yeah. When all inside you burns like a star, it's after you burn out that you are reborn again. Maybe if you called out for help, then I could help you outrun yourself. Come run again, we'll run again. Connecting to the what are we made of, like the idea that like stars combust, turn to carbon, and carbon becomes life forms. You know, there's that connection there. When you burn out, when you run out of all your fuel, like that's the point at which you can kind of rebuild yourself. And I think there's something that everybody learns throughout their life is that sometimes the points where you get to your lowest low, it's almost like you have nowhere else to go. And there's a kind of certain freedom in getting to that place because you're like, almost like, now you know what it is. It's not something to fear anymore. Like some of my choices were born out of being the lowest I've ever felt. Like the lowest I've ever felt during lockdown and getting my way up to London and starting the YouTube channel. Like I started the YouTube channel because I felt so depressed I needed something, you know? I moved halfway across the world the time before, you know, and it was the most amazing experience I've ever had. So You know, there's like, I think that's what she's trying to kind of inspire in herself and inspire in the listener is like, at the end of the day, we're all human and we're all made of like dust and blood. And when it comes down to that basic level, and when you're brought down to that basic level, like what is possible, you know, really just so fucking stunning. I can't even cope. Okay, next song. This is The Conflict of the Mind. Okay. She's doing a lot of da's on this album.
It's a complicated story.
What interesting vocal production. It almost creates this kind of like dejected feeling on her voice, doesn't it? You know,
Out of time,
like she's talking down the phone to you or something.
leave it all behind.
Ah.
Conflicted in my mind at the very same time.
Oof.
The conflict of the mind.
Oh, I love how that synth sounds, or maybe her voice manipulated, almost gives you this like mind-whirring thing. Very clever.
Bury something down.
Wow.
In your eyes, I saw a longing.
I love this imagery of like down and up, being lifted and being buried. There's a sense of like when you're buried under the ground, needing to lift yourself out and, you know, grow towards the sky type thing.
The conflict of the mind. This is just a conflict of the mind. Don't let your spirit die.
Yeah. Don't let your spirit die. It's just a conflict of the mind. I think there's a sense of more of her trying to rationalize the feelings that she's had within herself. It's something that's within your grasp to sort out. It's just a conflict within your own mind. And actually, like, the worst thing you can do is lay down and die, you know, and let it get to you. She's trying to disarm the feeling, isn't she, I think? Oh, I love that. It's so cute. I guess that's all little vocal samples, isn't it? That is so stunning. I love the way that she's like singing about a conflict within her own mind, and she's manipulating her own voice into loads of different ways. It's almost like the different voices in her head arguing, and she's manipulated that into the design of the song. She always thinks about the story that she's telling and lets that reflect in the sound design. And that is something that's always been so inspiring for me, listening to her music. It's something that I've always kind of like pondered when I've been making music. Like, how can I get the sound design to express the storytelling? And it's something that she just does on a like kind of a like next level that just like, it's just so inspiring for me, and it's so beautiful as well. Like, yeah, isn't that just so clever? It's a complicated story that we never talk about, but I see it in the mirrors in the curtains of our house. I don't want you to be worried that we're running out of time. It doesn't matter where we're going, we can leave it all behind. Only when I see you cry, I feel conflicted in my mind. It fills my heart up and breaks me at the very same time. When you open the gates for me and leave the world behind, we find proof of love is hidden in the conflict of the mind. Wow. It's like feeling two things at the same time. When you see someone that you love, you know, getting emotional about something, there's like, your heart breaks for them because you're sad for them. And there's also this like, you know, you feel this beauty in the fact that they're so like open with you, you know? And that's kind of that conflict. And she's like, that conflict, that those two feelings are proof that you really feel love for this person. I remember how I find you fingers tearing through the ground. Were you digging something up, or did you bury something down? So now she's seeing someone that she loves going through the kind of sadness and depression that she struggled with. And she's like, how can I lift you up? How can I help you? Don't let your spirit die. This is just a conflict of the mind. Is your heart alive? You'll overcome a conflict of the mind. I love how she's like teasing all this like imagery of the heart and the blood and the body and where we're coming from throughout all the different songs so far. And the mind and mental health and depression, and, you know, it all kind of connects so far. Maybe she's really like setting out to dissect what it is to kind of deal with the kind of sadness and depression and what it is to be an emotional person in a world in complete turmoil, you know, the politics and everything, like environmental anxiety and COVID and everything, the last decade really. How does that affect us sensitive people, and how do we deal with it, you know? It feels like that's what she's kind of dissecting. Okay, next song. This is Some Type of Skin. So skin, another body part, you know, there's almost like a kind of slightly grotesque nature to this as well. But it's all about kind of understanding what we're made of, you know?
Hit me hard where I am soft.
Oh, hit me hard and soft.
To be more than a muscle. Life is to bleed. It's only temporary.
Wow.
Peace.
Okay.
Some type of skin.
Oh, I've got fucking chills all up my arms again. Goosebumps in the song about skin, you know, it's a thing.
I let it slow me down. Everybody run.
I'll crawl where everybody runs. Oh, it's really simple, but really powerful. Just like there's 3 chords. Just, just her, like, I just love when she accesses that part of her artistry where she's just like, I'm singing over the glaciers. I've mentioned this in previous album reactions, where I could just picture her like stood on a fucking glacier, like just like singing out over the beautiful landscape, like screaming into the sky. You know, it's like she just has that power within her that is so fascinating for somebody who kind of comes across as this like cute little cheruby kind of character, that she can access this huge power. It's just like endlessly astonishing for me. And like, I just think she's like one of the best artists around. And like, I feel like she doesn't get enough attention, you know? She's definitely underrated. On my criminally underrated podcast, I have to talk about her at some point because like she is so underrated. Like, my God, it's a lot. Oh, that's what she was saying. I thought she was like, I'm live, but like, my God, it's a lot. It's just a lot to deal with. Like, I love these like euphoric moments that just like kind of have like really kind of simple, relatable lyric in it. That's quite kind of like, God, isn't this a lot to deal with? You know, like, God, just fucking brilliant. Hit me hard where I am soft. Should my heart reveal itself to be more than a muscle or a fist covered in blood? However much it feels to bleed, it's only temporary. So there's a real kind of like, this kind of grotesque kind of thing that she's talking about, like very literal bodily organs, you know. We're good people and we both deserve peace. My God, it's a lot. I built some type of skin. I've got to build some type of skin. So that's maybe like building a thicker skin. Maybe that's what she's saying, that she needs to just persist and push through. I guess I should build some type of skin and love the things I know might disappear. And the last light of the sun, I let it slow me down. I'll crawl where everybody runs. So there's a sense of like her realizing that she's almost like been afraid of losing things. And maybe like the freedom is in admitting that things are temporary. Even our bodies themselves are temporary. When we bleed, when we cut our skin and we bleed, it's only temporary. Even if you die, it's only and life is only temporary. And there's a complete freedom in like being able to admit that and actually find the beauty in the temporary things. You know, there's something so poignant about like understanding that not everything's going to live forever. And there's a beauty in learning to appreciate that. And you can appreciate it more because it's not going to live forever. If we lived forever, what would be the point? You know, the fact that we have short lifespans is the thing that pushes us to create, to feel, to explore, you know, and that is the love and the beauty that I think she's finding a way to connect to. But it is so much. It's so much to contend with. And that's the kind of central feeling in this song, is that all this stuff is kind of starting to come to her, but it's just like such big feelings and such big ideas. It's a lot to deal with. And I feel like the audience will be able to say like, oh my God, this is a lot to deal with. And you can all come together within this euphoric song. I know that she always thinks of the audience when she's thinking about the way in which, you know, she designs her music. That fucking song was stunning. Okay, next song. This is The Essence.
Home feels like home. I've known you.
I've mourned you now, longer than I've known you.
Cried just like me.
Seems to be exploring the sorrow here, I think.
It will be alright. We are running through the waves of time. Can lie in the heart, but it hurts so much. So I'd rather not.
It hurts so much to be in touch, so I'd rather not. Maybe in touch with somebody or in touch with your emotions, like pushing those things down because it's too much.
Like rivers flow. Maybe running through the waves of time.
God, it's like...
With the essence of us.
It hurts so much to be in touch with the essence of us. Maybe she's mourning a relationship.
So I'd rather not.
Oh my God. Fuck. You know what I loved about that? Was the way in which she changed the lyrics. Like, the first round being like, it hurts so much to stay in touch, so I'd rather not. And then almost making you forget that lyric again, and then kind of coming back to it at the end. It just was heartbreaking. Like it's just so brilliantly done, and like it's representing like a really raw emotion for her, because like I think everything so far has been like her almost like trying to get herself out of this place, to out of the melancholy, out of the sadness. Like she's trying to find euphoria, she's trying to find inspiration, but here she just truly lets that emotion out, you know, in a really kind of raw way. And like the simplicity and the like starkness in the production really sells that, especially like with those big moments of like built up emotion. It's almost like I'm feeling so depressed, but these kind of like anxious, upsetting flare-ups kind of happen, and it's like, nope, too much, I can't deal with it, I'm cutting off. That's like how that song kind of like emotionally kind of like tells you that, you know. In another life, home feels like home. I've mourned you now longer than I've known you. That is just such a heartbreaking line. The idea that like, I've mourned you for longer than I've known you, as the trees cry their leaves vulnerable just like me. It's like really her contending with this like vulnerability. Maybe it'll be all right. We all hurt sometimes. We're running through the waves of time, and the truth can lie in the arms of a fight. And I try, but it hurts so much to be in touch, so I'd rather not. But it hurts so much to be in touch with the essence of us. It hurts so much to be in touch with the essence of us. It hurts so much to be in touch, so I'd rather not. There's almost like classic, almost like limerick style, like cadence to the poetry in it that is really like beautiful and kind of classic. Yeah, it seems to me that she's maybe had like a relationship that was maybe short and like passionate, and she broke up with them, and now like she's been mourning that relationship for longer than it was even together. It's like she's so vulnerable and so like has such big emotions that she's like, I can't connect to you because those emotions are all still too bare and too sensitive for me to actually deal with. So I'm cutting off, you know. Fucking beautiful. Okay, next one. This is Earthly Delights.
First, you are
Oof. Wow. Wow. Ah, beautiful. This is like kind of sinful, you know. Oh, there's the snatey synth that I love to hear. She's definitely referencing that thing, but it's not an homage. It's like utilising those sounds in her own way, you know. There's kind of like an almost like ethereal kind of feeling to this. Like this would have fit in actually quite well on the gods we can touch, you know, like, but I suppose in comparison, it's like touching the gods and then coming back down to earth. That's kind of the duology of these two albums in a way. Wow. Such kind of interesting sound design going on. There's lots of like little kind of things in the background. Oof. Ugh. It's like we're in the jungle. That's a very interesting one. It felt like almost like unintelligible in the way that it was designed, you know, the kind of heaviness of the reverb and the world building stuff kind of like almost like gets you kind of lost within it takes you into the world and you lose yourself within it, you know, almost to a point where I couldn't actually hear a lot of the lyrics, you know, but I reckon that's kind of like a more of a feeling song than it is like lyrically, you know, specific, like the previous one. First you made for me a river so I would have water, made for me a garden so I would have earth, but I'm so lonely, so lonely. When everything dies, can you stay with me? Could you give to me desire so I would have fire, fill my lungs with air? I'll be a perfect lover, but I'm so lonely. If everything dies, oh, why can't you love me? It's like dealing with the shortness of our lives again, you know, the temporary nature of what it is to be alive, you know. When time at last consumes me, broken and unholy, let my body wander far away from here. Eyes warmed up with sorrow, you've always envied mortals, because we can leave. Oh, I see, yeah. When everything dies, will you be lonely? So lonely. Seems to be connecting to the temporary nature of her life, the temporary nature of the planet itself. Will she be lonely at the end? I think it's really fascinating, and it does connect to the kind of gods we can touch kind of thing, in the way that it's like she's almost like speaking to a god and talking about like almost like what it is to live on earth, and like the gods envy humans because we can leave, because our lives are temporary, because our lives are special, because of their temporary nature. You know, it's like what we were saying in the previous song, you know. Was it the previous song or the one before? No, the skin one. But I don't think she couldn't quite deal with that yet, because I think she feels too lonely, you know. I think she's scared of dying alone, which is something that we all feel, you know. Okay, next song. This is When the Dark Dresses Lightly. Hello. Ooh, okay. We've reached the experimental part of the album. The darker part of the album. It certainly has a shape to it, the whole album, doesn't it?
Cuts right through my soul.
Ugh, those drums.
Guess I shouldn't have
Galloping.
I just want to
I love it, love it, love it.
to our sorrow. This fear, it's contagious. Now we're here. Guess my heart for so
That is so good.
Guess I shouldn't have kept the knife in my heart for so long.
Oh, this is so cool, this song. Ah, yeah. Now she's got a little bit of that kind of dark disco element in this production. All the movement in it, the use of raspy strings and raspy kind of things, it's like, oh, fucking sick. God, fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. Oh, just the atmosphere that she created in that, like, had this, like, full-on, like, cinematic kind of quality, like, this almost, like, galloping and through the night, through the, like, pushing through the darkness kind of thing, like, very threatening, like, these things are threatening to take you down and you push through. It's like, it's just so evocative and so powerful, and she just like creates like such an inspiring soundscape every single time, and that one just sounds so different, but like it just has like such power to it, like in the darkness of it, you know. It really feels like so far the album, like we started off kind of trying to find the euphoria, trying to find the dance, trying to find the love, you know, and I think she started to realize that like it's not quite that simple. And now these last few songs have really kind of gone dark. And maybe it's like, I need to truly feel the darkness. I need to feel the sadness. I need to be completely vulnerable and let these feelings through. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to actually heal myself. I can't just be constantly looking for optimism. You know, I need to actually feel what I'm feeling and process it. And feels like these middle songs are a part of that processing. You know, that's what she's going through now, is the processing. Fuck. Stunning. God, this is a long album. This is going to be a long reaction. As I pour out my story, drink me up, there is wine in every word. Here's to us now, my dear, we're being strong now. And the dark dress is lightly razor sharp as it cuts right through my soul. Here's to us now, my dear, you took too long. Guess I shouldn't have kept the knife in my heart for so long. Guess I shouldn't have held back when I needed you to know. So it's like telling somebody the truth, being completely honest with them. And it's like if you've been hurt by somebody, keeping the knife within your heart, again, more imagery to the heart. Like this is like coming through the whole thing. It's so clever. The knife in the heart being like you felt like you've been stabbed, you felt like you've been damaged, and you keep it there because you're not telling the truth of how you feel. Whereas we all know that you should no, you shouldn't take it out. I was going to say you should take the knife straight out. No, don't do that. You'll die. But she's like admitting that like holding on to these feelings and not being truthful about them is what has been damaging her this time, you know? And it's like the darkness in it is the like pushing through the truth and the pain, you know? Let's dance to our sorrow, exactly. Make amends. There's so much you still don't know. Here's to us now, my dear. We're going deep now. All this fear, it's contagious. Now we're here. Let our glasses overflow. It's almost like getting drunk and allowing the freedom of that to like get the truth out, you know? To the river, to the water where the floodgates are wide open and the tower has fallen onto you. Let me feel it, darling, darling. Let me feel it. So it's really about letting everything out. All the darkness you feel, letting it out, letting all the darkness out. That's what it feels like. And the song sounds like you're galloping through the darkness and pushing through it and being truthful, you know, even though it's painful to hear, to say. Okay, next song. This is A Soul With No King. Oh, hello. We're going to the Renaissance Fair. Ooh, nice. Love it.
Like a man with no wisdom.
Nice. Well, the playing on that mandolin, I think, is so intricate. Nice.
Is what you want. Why?
Nice. What is the time signature? I'm so lost. So cool. It's almost like she's tapping into like Scandinavian Finland metal music, you know? Yeah, it's definitely tapping into something, that kind of medieval Scandinavian kind of Viking thing, which then does connect to the electric guitar. Yeah. Nice. I wasn't expecting jugga 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 symphonic metal guitar chords in an Aurora song, but she does it well. I mean, it makes sense. Like, it's like almost like part of the sound of Scandinavia, you know? Stunning. God, that drum is just so good. Nice. If you know who I am. Cool. If you know who I am, then why would you call my name? That one really connected to something that I wasn't expecting in this album, but like was so interesting to kind of hear her kind of connect to the symphonic metal thing. You know, there's almost like the kind of Viking-esque medieval nature to the instrumentation, to the fiddly thing, and the mandolin, maybe. And then the metal elements of it. Like, it really, yeah, like it connected to something so kind of historic, you know, that kind of gave it this like ancient kind of weight, you know? Yeah, very, very cool. Like there's on Patreon, like I've had a lot of people requesting Scandinavian music, Faroese music, like symphonic metal and stuff for me to react to over on there. And it's been really amazing, like discovering that those sounds, you know. I know you know me and you always will, like a man with no wisdom and a soul with no king, a soul with no king. I know you feel me, your heart unfulfilled, like a world with no mother and a home never built. But if this is what you want, why speak of right and wrong? You still go in for the kill. Interesting. Nothing will ever change, no guilt, no shame. Call out my name when you need me again. If you know who I am, why don't you call my name? Interesting. It's almost like maybe speaking from the perspective of like some kind of ethereal god or creature that could help them, and yet they don't. But it also seems to be like really talking about like people who operate with no moral compass. That seems to be what she's like, seems to be aiming this song at. It's very interesting. Yeah, kind of, I haven't quite got my finger on that one right away, but it's very interesting. Let's go on to the next one. This is Dreams. Stunning. Oh.
Another bridge burned, a mother concerned in my dream.
Gorgeous. Oh.
Disappear.
In my dream, everything I feel disappears. It's like escaping into your dreams, isn't it?
Don't lie to yourself, don't lie to the world. I abandoned your religion, so my path would be impossible to track.
Wow.
In my dream, everything's more quiet than here.
I love that movement. There's like this idea that she can just disappear without a trace. Nobody can track her. Nobody can find her. She can truly escape within her dreams, you know. And with the heaviness of what she's feeling and how she's felt so far, it's like an area of like respite for her.
And repeat them like you own them. We all bend, and the cockroach remains in my dreams.
My God. Wow. Oh my God, to like take it to such a kind of subtle, light place, like with that acoustic guitar, but like still with that kind of beautiful ambient stuff in the background, but it's so quiet. Oh God, it's really just so powerful. She just knows how to harness like that power and tell a story. And this one is like really truly trying to escape from the heaviness of the real world, you know, within dreams. I've needed so much with nothing to touch, floating from earth. Another bridge burned, a mother concerned, come back to the world. So it's like her mum's like concerned that she's living within a fantasy. In my dreams, everything's more quiet than here. In my dreams, everything I feel disappears. Don't lie to yourself, don't lie to the world, don't lie to a girl. When your shadows were forgiven, I abandoned your religion. I traveled through the darkness so my path would be impossible to track. That's like really poignant. In my dreams, everything's more quiet than here. In my dreams, everything I feel disappears. Like the arrow and the willow, we all bend. Like the mothers and the daughters climb out of the waters. Like the needle and the cockroach, we mend. It's almost like a cautionary tale of like, don't let yourself become lost within your dreams and lost within your fantasies, whilst also admitting that she kind of is doing that. But the idea of like the willow and the arrow bending and the cockroach and the needle mending, it's like a sense of like, I will find a way to be malleable. I will find a way to work my way through this. You know, I'm not stubborn. I will be flexible and work my way through these feelings, and I will mend and I will heal. She's certainly like going through the emotions right now still, and just like trying to feel them, express them and process them. Next one. This is My Name, feat. Anne Brun. Oh, hello. Full on Bjorky here, right? Almost sounds like a kind of 80s futurism thing, android-y thing.
I didn't know before my head was strained.
Cool. Love the metallic elements of it. It's almost like an android robot being built.
I was a part of your world.
Cool. Wow. Every moment.
Innocent way to teach a dying soul yourself.
Wow.
Far away, another departure in our atmosphere.
Cool. Will you forget I was here? Maybe it's a fear of being forgotten. Oh God, the percussion and the texture in this song is so amazing. Wow. Yeah, that one really has darkness and fear to it. And I feel like it's like the fear of not leaving your mark on the world. You know, like we forget that I was here is repeated. It's like really like dealing with this existential feeling of like life is short. Like, what am I going to do if like people never don't remember me? Like, do I need people to remember me? You know, my name was hidden somewhere in the back of my brain. I didn't know before my head was drained. All I could hear was that name. I erased the mission I had before I was reversed. Long before I was part of Earth, I was part of your world. It's almost like lyrically, I'm an android. I'm a robot being made with a mission in the back of my brain. You know, the parade, an innocent way to teach a dying cell, eventually will be eaten by yourself. Nobody asked for help. Far away, somebody was given just another year, another departure in their atmosphere. Will you forget I was here? It's almost like a robot whose programming's gone wrong and she repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. It's almost like a robot gaining sentience in a way. Don't give up, you'll get another. Don't give up, we'll talk about it. Don't give up, you'll be okay. Don't give up, we'll talk about it. Don't give up, we'll talk about it. Don't give up, will you forget I was here? Yeah, like it kind of like the frame of it kind of almost has this like robotic kind of like metallic nature to it. And it's like maybe she's inhabiting the idea of like a robot gaining sentience as a way to kind of process her own feelings on like her own temporary being. You know, this is something that seems to have really become a key theme, is this idea that she's existentially dealing with the fact that she's going to die. And she's like, how do I live for the moment? How do I find that optimism again when the threat of like dying alone and everybody forgetting that I was even part of this world in the first place is looming over my consciousness? The exploration of those feelings seems to be really much like this middle part of the album, where at the beginning it almost felt like she was trying to deal with her sadness in a very literal way. Almost like, I'm trying to push through the sadness. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to find love. I'm trying to like follow those parts. It's almost like she's learning through this that actually pure optimism is not enough. And you have to really process and come to terms with some of these darker thoughts. And that seems to be what the process of the album is so far. Next song, this is Do You Feel? Never give up this feeling. Okay, she's taken such bold choices throughout this album. Every single one pays off.
And I heard bodies in it, and you lit the sun.
Oh. Oh, hello. I love how she's going to like almost like dancey places. It's really cool. Nice. Never give up this feeling. Yeah. So this is, I feel like, the turning point, right? Oh, the drums are so good. This one seems to be drawing on the 18s references too. Ah. Amazing. So cool. Dancey. Very dancey. Like, it's just like, I love how she's utilising 80s sounds in this album. Like not all the time. Like, it's certainly not like overpowering the album, like the reference to the 80s. But like, I love how she's like tapping into that sound in a way that she hasn't done so before. She's utilising that sound to find new places for her as a creative. You know, it's like, oh, maybe I'll tap into that, see what I can do with that and create something fucking mad. You know, like that's just, she's just fucking great. Yeah, and it feels like here, she's starting to kind of like pull herself out of the darkness. You know, she's like, she felt all her feelings and now she's like, now I can get back to finding optimism, you know? Never give up this feeling, never give up on love. You can give up on me. Never give up on love. Yeah. You let the sun call my name and we dance in her flames. So warm, I feel love. Do you feel love? You got me burning, but I can't stop. It feels like I need it. Maybe it's like calling to this person that she was in a relationship with and saying, don't give up on finding love, while simultaneously kind of giving herself this kind of pep talk of like, keep following that feeling, keep going through, keep working through it. Honestly, like her songs are so dense in terms of like the production and everything. It's so difficult to take it all in one go, but that's like the beauty of it. Like I'm so excited to be able to dig into it and like really like unpeel new layers every single time I listen. Yes, by the way, make sure to leave your top 5 songs from the album in the comments. It seems to be something that's really picked up on the channel over the last year or so. People love doing it and I love going through and seeing what your top 5s are. So yeah, make sure to let me know and make sure to stick around to the end of the video and I'll be telling you my favourite song from the album. Next one, this is Starvation. Oh, okay, hello, marching band.
I miss the time.
I miss what it was to be who I was before, I think.
Dreaming my life away.
Wow.
For us to see the light.
Wow. So stark. Ugh.
Come on.
Wow. So interesting.
Will my life be better?
Wow.
For us to see the light.
Why do we have to die for us to see the light? That is like mind-blowing lyric. Why do we only appreciate things after they're gone, you know? Why can't we appreciate life now?
Gotta deal with the devil, but I got the stamina.
Nice.
To sing the remedy, I got you.
This is so sick. The drums in this are mad. The tension.
I got the stamina.
What the fuck? Wow. I was so expecting that. Amazing. Oh my God. I did not know we were going to the Berlin underground nightclub scene today. This is insane. Oh my God, that song. Just when you think you know what's going to happen, it fucks with you every single turn. That chorus with just the drums and her vocal was already surprising enough. Beautiful vocal, just framing her stunning vocal. Like, but then that twist to go to this like fucking drum and bass shit. It's like, so, like not what I was expecting, but like so amazing. Like mind-blowing. Just when you think you know what's going on, just when you think you've got it sussed out, just when you think you have her sussed out, she's like, no. I've got something else for you. Oh, and there's something so freeing about somebody who is so like I said before, like this kind of nymph-like character that can find so much power. And can you imagine like someone like Aurora, when you see her on stage, is like, ooh, just kind of giggly and like silly and like fun. But like when you see her on Instagram and stuff too, you know, very emotional, but like very kind of quirky and fun. To have a song that has that level of like heaviness in it, it's like so surprising, but like just so amazing. Like, oh, I'm obsessed. I miss the touch of human hands on my skin, miss the rush of beauty coming from within. Do I need to be torn just to see who will care? I sleep on the floor, dreaming my life away. Why do we have to die for us to see the light? Why do we hunger for love? Why do we touch the knife when we long to feel alive? And we hunger for love, and my soul is starving. There's like this like dichotomy within her that she's really trying to come to terms with, you know, yeah, really life and death at the end of the day. Come on over, take a bite of the last apple here on earth. Will the virtual mind become stronger than mine? And when my ego dies, will I stay here forever? When the wave crashes down, will my life be better? Almost like, will she be so synthesized? Will her sound and her image and who she is be so synthesized in an online algorithm that when she dies, maybe her life, the stuff that's left over, only the highlights which are contained on an Instagram reel, maybe those are the only moments that will stay on after she dies. And it's like, actually, is my life better at that point when it's just the good stuff that stays around after I die? Like, it's like really fucking heavy shit. And this idea that like we have to die to see the light, we have to die to feel alive. It's like really dealing with that dichotomy. It's such a kind of like ethereal kind of level this, and it's just like, and it's so central to who we are as human beings. And I can feel her like going through these existential things and like trying to piece it apart, but it's so confusing because of the contradictions, you know, the contradictions that ultimately you have to just be okay with at the end of the day, you know, break me, chasing the enemy, got to deal with the devil, but I got stamina higher than anything I've ever seen or been. Right now, everything's empty, starving, crashing, chasing the remedy. Got used to the torture, but no one deserves to be alone. Break me, chasing the enemy, and my soul is hurting, but I've got the stamina. So it's like the pain, the fear, the existential dread that she feels has drained her to the absolute bone. She's starved. She has nothing left. And when you reach that level of starvation, what do? The adrenaline kicks in and you fight. And it's fight or flight. And that is really the moment that she's got to emotionally, is this fight or flight. And she's deciding to fight. And it's fucking powerful. And that is the sound that represents that, doesn't it? You know, so good. Fucking obsessed. Okay, next song. This is The Blade. Cool. Nice. I love where this album has gone. It's like taken the kind of euphoric beauty in Aurora and then dirtied it up and really kind of accessed something really distorted and dark. Gosh, she always sounded a little bit Kate Bush there, didn't she? I mean, Aurora's voice is her signature, really. But the thing is, she doesn't just rest on her voice. She constantly explores creative opportunities, you know. Okay. Will she be the same? Cool. On the cross in the night, nobody remembers when those corridors that are changing. Like, I just love it. Nice. Nice. All she knows when the world drags her so deep into the shadow, like cool. I still feel her pain. It's almost like like a rock song. She really is like a rock song. Okay. Yeah. This kind of feels like almost like slightly more laid back in the way that it's kind of like letting things out, you know? Whereas everything else has been a bit more skittering and like intense. Well, this is obviously very intense, but but it kind of like the elongated sounds of it, kind of like letting it all out, you know? Soft, something needs protection. Yeah. Really cool. Again, her accessing the rock nature of it, you know, like to express something dark, feeling like the blade, the need for protection, the need for like defense, like the kind of harsh realities of the world, maybe. Yeah, very cool. Fall into my arms like you trust me. I'll keep my blood-stained hands off your body. Fuck. Innocent like a child, yet she sleeps with a knife right under her pillow, and the gloves won't be near anyone anymore. Paralyzed in denial, ever-changing, will she be the same? See your shame on the wall, on the cross in the night. Nobody remembers when she cried scarlet skies on the floor. A million doors, corridors ever-changing, I still feel the rage. Watch out, watch what you say, the truth becomes your grave. A sword can cut both ways, but I got sharp blades, feel the rage. It's so amazing hearing Aurora singing about rage. Like, I feel like earlier, like slightly more, like less mature Aurora was more like always, almost like trying to fix the problem. She was always kind of saying stuff like, let's all get together and push through this. Maybe she felt like she had to uphold this optimism for her audience and for herself. And here in this album, she's let it all go. And now she's allowing herself to feel everything. It's like stripping back all of that kind of ego and all that kind of expectation right to the barest minimum, and then truly feeling things in an extremely vulnerable and real way and expressing that through the music. And through an extreme change in sound of music, you know, it's really amazing. Vertigo, all she knows, when the world drags her soul deep into the shadow. Like a chain, it chokes my throat when she cries. Fucking hell. I hold her near, hurting world. overwhelming. I still feel her pain. It's almost like maybe she's like now got some kind of inner steel and she's like, soft hearts need protection. Like she's like, I need to be able to access parts of myself that I'm not used to in order to protect myself, you know? But it's kind of sad because it's almost like maybe the world has pushed her to that. It's almost like the breaking of innocence in a way, which is sad, but I think it's beautiful in the way that it's going to give her a lot of freedom, you know? Okay, let's go on to the penultimate song. This is My Body Is Not Mine. Cool.
I can remember the first time I felt my mind, demon in the light of my aim. I won't be calling its name. Reading the wisdom written out for me in my veins.
Yeah, more connection to veins, blood, her body. Cool.
But the light kicks in when I know it's time. I feel no pain and I never cry. My body's not mine, I need my body.
I love the way that she's exploring this almost like techno, dark disco, drum and bass world, rock, metal, or utilizing all of these dark sounds in order to like express something within her that feels so truthful. Amazing.
Like another life when the story they somehow all survive. Repeat.
My body's not mine. It's like maybe like disassociation, reclaiming her body. Wow. Oh. This album is astonishing. Astonishing. Will you need my body? Wow. There's still so much darkness in it. Oh my God, it's still going. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. I feel like with this album, Aurora's unlocked a new level to her artistry. I didn't even know she could go to a new level, but she has, and it's fucking amazing. Fuck me. As if to have like a fully distorted, metally, horrible, in-your-face outro on an Aurora song is really amazing. And I feel like I can feel her kind of growing up and dealing with like what it is to go into like your late 20s and 30s, you know, the existentialism, the heaviness, the dealing with dark emotion when previously when you were younger, you were kind of maybe obsessed with finding the brighter things, you know. It's so amazing to hear her go to access like unlock a completely new part of herself that we didn't even know was possible, and to go there so fully and to really just feel it and express it in an animalistic way, and is like desperate. Like that's the feeling that this stuff gives me. It's just like fucking insane. I can remember the first time I felt my mind turning into a beast of a new kind. Yeah, if there's a demon in the line of my aim, I won't be calling its name. I would stare at the back of my hand for days, reading the wisdom written up for me in my veins. If there's a demon in the eye of my soul, I won't be letting you know. And the people I love I left behind, they see too much when they look in my eyes. Feel no pain and I never cry. I bleed no blood and I'll never die. My body's not mine, my body's not mine, my body's not mine. I need no body. It's almost like she's become this like ethereal demon creature, and it's like people can see it behind her eyes and they're like, there's something dark there. And so she cuts everybody off and flies off, you know. It's like, maybe it's a feeling that like people need things from her as like a famous person with power. It's almost like they're trying to use her, and she's like, I feel like I'm not in control of who I am, of my body. My body belongs to the populace. My body belongs to everybody else. And so my spirit has to be the thing that is free, you know? And the past feels like another life when the story they somehow all survived repeats itself so many times, written in cold blood, heavy as a Bible. Feel no pain and I never cry. I bleed no blood and I'll never die. My body's not mine. My body's not mine. My body's not mine. I need my body. Wow. It's like really, really intense. It kind of has a feeling of freedom from it though, because it's almost like she's relinquishing control and allowing that. You know, she's like, maybe I can't control everything. Maybe I don't even have control of my own body sometimes. And there's a freedom in like letting go of that, I think. But like, it's almost like she's let this like demon loose, and she's really run with that as a sound and as a concept. It's like Powerful shit. Right, before we go on to the final song, this is the shout out to my patrons. Thank you everybody over on Patreon who supports me. You make it possible for me to live my life as a creative individual, and to only have to need part-time hours to supplement it is pretty amazing. If you want to join the Patreon and support me, then you get a number of benefits, including watching all my videos unedited so you can see my moment by moment reaction to every song. You can also in the upper tiers request song and album reactions from me, and all those videos go out for everybody on the Patreon. So there's a number of bonus Patreon exclusive videos every single month, including, who have we had recently? We've had Radiohead, some like a lot of Icelandic stuff. We've had Ivor from the Faroese Islands. We've had the Sugar Cubes, as in Björk's original band. We've had the Crane Wives. We've had the Civil Wars. We've had ranging from country to symphonic metal. There's so much interesting stuff to listen to, and so many cool people to get in contact with over there. You also get access to the extended edit of my podcast and the video version. If you want to go and join in, make sure to head over there. The link will be in the description. Cool. Thanks, guys. Right, let's go on to the final song. This is Invisible Wounds. I wonder how she's going to be able to tie this all together, because it still feels pretty dark, you know? Let's go. At the moment, it already does feel like it has some sense of healing in it.
Squeeze into a small hole to stitch you up again. I know so well I can't fix anything.
Wow, now she knows.
Mistaking every vein for a thread. Lying in my bed, barely existing.
She's trying to fix everybody else, even though she hasn't fixed herself.
And I need
Wow.
to understand. And I fear it's only fantasy.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be tragic? Not any magic. And I need you.
Oh, it's like a plead. Oh, I need you to forgive me if you can. Fuck.
Isn't always good enough.
Wow, fuck.
I know it hurts for you to know you've hurt me.
Wow.
These invisible wounds our homes gave us. I can't heal you, even if we wanted to.
Even if we wanted to, we can't fix one another. And I tried. Yeah.
And I stop needing me.
Wow.
I've needed you. Tend to the invisible wounds.
Wow. They need to tend to their own wounds before they can think about fixing one another. Wow. And that's where the optimism ultimately comes from in this last song, is the admittance that we need to actually acknowledge and fix the darkness within ourselves. Fucking hell. Yeah. Wow. Ah, what a beautiful sentiment to end on. Like, just, I mean, the pure beauty in it, after having so much darkness and so much ugliness in the album, to really return to something pure and beautiful, I think was very poignant and very intimate. Like, the way the vocals were recorded was so intimate. But like, the thing is, she doesn't try and wrap it all up in a neat bow. She doesn't try and kind of give you a complete story where she says, oh, I'm fixed now. She's learned that like, that isn't true. That isn't real. To do that is not real. And so she leaves you with, we can't fix anything. How are we supposed to fix one another when we still have these invisible wounds that haven't been attended to? You know, we still have these broken things within ourselves that we need to work on fixing before we can even think about being with one another. And it's like such a profound statement, I think, to make, because it feels like at the beginning, she's looking to fix things, you know? And I think she's admitting, you know, the going through the needle and thread, trying to sew up the skin. I'll talk about this more fully in a minute. But now at the end, she's admitting that she can't fix anything. You know, it's really powerful, beautiful, absolutely stunning. I squeeze into a small hole through the eyes of needles to stitch you up again, even though I know so well I can't fix anything. I look for blood to shed, mistaking every vein for a thread. Here we go again, like the like lyrical connection that just runs all the way, the threads that run all the way through like veins, you know, it's like so stunning, like the way she's thought about that. Spreading out too thin as I'm lying on my bed, barely existing. So she's like here trying to, she's admitting that she's trying to fix this person, trying to like figure out what's wrong with them and trying to sort them out, when actually she's barely existing herself. And I need you to understand. Sometimes I see light. I fear it's only fantasy. Oh, wouldn't it be tragic if there's no light in me, not any magic? And that's the kind of true fear that she's admitting now. I see beauty and I wonder that I worry that it's not real. You know, I know the best I can isn't always good enough. I know it hurts to know I hurt you, like it hurts for you to know you've hurt me. And now my blood is yours and life is slowly losing touch. How do we learn to tend to the invisible wounds our homes gave us? Wow. So maybe it's the connection, like she has mentioned her mother a few times, like maybe there's like a connection to like, she's starting to realize that there's like wounds from her childhood that never truly healed, that she never truly sorted out, you know. I can't heal you, you can't heal me, even if we wanted to, and how I wanted to. And I need you to stop needing me like I've needed you. We both need to tend to the invisible wounds. Yeah, at the end of the day, we both need to actually take a long, hard look at ourselves and start sorting out the traumas and things that exist from our past and working through them and admitting that they exist and learning to deal with them, learning to cope with them before we could think about being in a relationship. You know, beautiful. Like, what a way to end the album. Like, overall, like it being like an album of searching for something. It feels like at the beginning, she's like searching for something and she doesn't know what. She's like, I've been so down. I've been so depressed. I've been so sad. Maybe it's from the breakdown of a relationship. It's probably from the state of the world, the impending climate doom, coronavirus. I've never called it coronavirus in a long time. With like, you know, lockdowns and everything, stopping the world, making us all kind of look inward. She's gone through a state of extreme sadness and extreme depression. And like, I think at the beginning, she's trying to fix it with this like forced optimism, like this euphoria, like this, like, I need to like just push through and keep searching for love, looking for love. And ultimately, when she lets the emotion consume her, the truth of her sadness, she lets it consume her for a while. She creates a whole lot of songs that exist within a sad place, exist within an angry place, exist within this like darkness within her that I don't think she knew existed. But she's allowing it to be completely free within this music. She finally gets to the end where she can say, I'm in no place to be fixing anyone. I'm in no place to be searching for optimism in order to try and fix the situation. The truth is that I need to analyze myself. I need to look inward before I can actually start looking outward at other people. And I've sensed this feeling from her, like following her on Instagram and stuff. There were moments where she was like, I've got new music to share, but I don't think it's the right time. And like how, like you could sense this like sadness within her. And there was all the shit that was going down with the, I don't know exactly what happened, but there was someone in her band, wasn't there, that like did something awful. I can't remember what it was, but like dealing with kind of like all that kind of tumultuous, kind of big, sad, like big feelings and sad shit and heavy shit. Yeah, you could sense that all that was kind of going on under the surface. And so for her to put an album that's almost like her trying to like keep her head above water and sort things out, but then ultimately allowing herself to fall and allowing herself to actually feel the darkness in those emotions and process it is ultimately a very powerful, powerful thing. It's just really just astonishing. And on top of all that, she manages to level up in so many ways. She uses her voice in a lot of different ways. Like she uses her voice, like obviously like the kind of like light, angelic part of her voice has always been there. She's used powerful parts of her voice before, but here it feels like she takes her voice to new, exciting places. She has like moments where it feels like she's screaming and moments where she's like doing really rhythmic stuff, really that she goes from the loudest part to the absolute quietest part as well. And it's like, and her style, her production style, like it still has such a core kind of Aurora creativity to it. But now she's allowing herself to go to places that are dark and expressing stuff through using symphonic metal and using like drum and bass and like using all these places that seemed kind of almost like outside of her genre that she, like her style that she created for herself. She's unlocked a new part of her creativity, and it feels like it's leveled everything up, because it feels like we can, like, I don't know, connect to something rawer and connect to something even more vulnerable that I don't think she's ever quite allowed us that close to the truth of it before. And it feels incredibly amazing to be going along this journey with her and to be experiencing the highs and lows of her emotion in a way that is so creatively stimulating and so profound and so exciting to listen to. It's just wonderful, absolutely amazing. I think it might be my favorite album. Obviously, like, I've listened to it once, but like, this has the potential to be my favorite of hers, which is mad because I love her stuff. Yeah, okay. So my favorite song, like, it's very difficult because there's quite a lot to kind of contend with. I think at the moment I'm going to give it to Some Type of Skin, because I feel like it kind of fulfilled the euphoric feeling that I love in a lot of her music, but also started to kind of like unpick the kind of truth in the darkness. I feel like that was almost like a turning point in the album where she started to kind of admit that, like, maybe she can't go through life being quite so perfectly, like, vulnerable all the time. Maybe she needs to develop some kind of thicker skin. It's like, yeah, like, sonically, just like really like up my street as well. Like, I think I'm gonna give it to that for now. But it's one of those things that, like, this is first listen, so it might change. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. Make sure to leave your top 5 in the comments and let me know what you think of the album. I'll be reading through them all next week. Yeah, I'm so excited to see what you guys all have thought about this album, because it's pretty bonkers. If you want to check out my God's Week in Touch reaction, it is here. And if you want to check out my playlist with all my Aurora reactions, it is here.